section of Chicago. And so we're going through, and there's all these like rich white men and their families at the top of their stairs watching us go by. And there's this one man that was standing there as I'm coming around the corner, and he's wearing like an old like Hugh Hefner red smoking jacket. He looked really, really slick. And he had like, I guess, his wife with him and, you know, some neighbors. And as we're coming around the corner, I see this man, and I see him go like this and just start down his stairs. And I see his wife just go, no! And she like reaches for him. So he runs out in the middle of our crowd and opens up his robe, and he's completely naked. And he's like just yelling like, yeah! And so we all start screaming and yelling, one of us, one of us. I just feel like we just made this man's life. That he like had waited his whole life to run out in a crowd of people naked and just be like, yes, awesome. So funny thing is, when we did that this year, we went down the same street, and there was a whole, he didn't do it this time, but we did see the whole crowd of all these old men. I was like, he's in there somewhere. That man is in that crowd. But yeah, there's another weird thing too, is, you know, when I did this 2 years ago, there was this guy that kept riding his bike up to me as we're riding, and you know, we're naked, right? And the weird thing, you don't even feel like you're naked anymore too, because everybody else is naked. Like, and granted, you're looking at everybody's junk and they're looking at you, but like nobody's making it obvious because you'd be an asshole, right? So there's this guy that kept riding his bike up alongside me, and he kept trying to talk to me, but it was weird talk. It wasn't just because like people were talking, commenting on other people or laughing together, but this guy kept being like, you know, you come here often kind of conversation, and I'm like, I hope you don't, because we're naked and that's weird. So. But basically, he kept trying to hit on me, and I'm like, this guy's a douchebag, like, for doing that. So I realized, how does that even work if you go to a naked bike ride and you see somebody that you like? You guys know what misconnections are? Yes. The misconnections. I'm trying to think, if somebody was to do that, to make a misconnection for the naked bike ride, what that would look like. Do you guys know what misconnections are? Okay, basically what it is, this is fab, there's actual whole entire sketches based off of just this phenomena in the newspaper. You go on like the internet or the newspaper, and it's misconnections. Basically, it's somebody, if you have a moment with somebody and you're like, man, I wish I could have gotten that phone number, you put a misconnection ad in the paper, and it'll be like, I was at the 7-Eleven on Kedzie and Belmont, and you were wearing a blue shirt, I was the guy with the dog walking, we had a moment, here's my phone number, I wish I would have gotten yours. That's a misconnection, right? But they get really silly, and they get really hilarious, and so there's like actual plays based off of them, like they get amazing. And so I'm thinking, the misconnection for the naked bike ride, I just don't know how that could even go, because it would just be like, I was naked, you were naked, we run bikes. And then 1,000 people show up to this guy's misconnection. You know, like, because it'll be like, meet me at the whatever at 5 o'clock if you're you. And I just feel like, how do you make that misconnection? Like, you were naked, you had the body paint, I had the costume. Yeah, 500 fucking people are going to show up to this thing, and you know, maybe find love. I don't know. I feel like I should probably put a misconnection in the paper with that description and just watch and just be like, who shows up? Who shows up? How many misconnections did we get? You know, at the naked bike ride? I don't know. We'll find out. It's not the weirdest. It's not the weirdest like place though that I've ever like had somebody hit on me or like weird scenario, because I've been doing comedy for a couple years, and there was this the pharmacy that I go to, I've been going to for a couple years, and there was this one time that I went to a comedy show and I was performing. And you know, my pharmacist that I go to at the Walgreens, he's awesome. He's like the same age as me. He's kind of cute. Like, we always talk for like ever. Like, we'll talk for like a half hour about his vacation in Hawaii, and I'll talk about my family, and it's like we know each other. But he's like your doctor kind of a thing. Like, you don't go there. But so I was at a comedy show, and all of a sudden after the show, this guy walks up to me, and it was my pharmacist. Like, he just coincidentally was at the show. And I don't know if he thought, and so we were talking there, and I don't know if like he thought that now that he's seen me on the outside world, we were cool, like to hit on me or something. So I get a friend request on Facebook. How did he know my name? My prescriptions. It's weird. It's a little bizarre. But so he friend requests me on Facebook. I'm like, okay, whatever. So now he's seeing all my posts of my shows. He starts coming to all my shows. And it's, yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know how to take that. I'm like, well, he's cool, but he's my pharmacist still. Like, I don't know. You know, he walks up and I don't even know his name. I'm like, hey, pharmacist. You know, they don't have first names. And so it's just really weird to me. And so, I don't know, I kind of don't know how to handle that situation because he's still friends with me on Facebook. And I just kind of feel like next time I go to, I stopped going to the pharmacy, by the way, I stopped going to that one. And I feel like the next time if I ever ran into him at the pharmacy again, I just feel like it'd be weird because I would probably be going to pick something up and he'd, oh, I see you have a show on Saturday, I'll be there. I'm like, oh great, now how do I take this yeast infection medicine? When am I going to see results? You know, I just feel like that's weird, right? It's kind of an awkward thing. Although there was, I am guilty of hitting on somebody awkwardly because I did drunkenly get on the metro train and go home with somebody. Nothing like that happened, but I did go hang out with him at his apartment that had no electricity. And my phone was dead. So this, and I'm alive, folks, I'm alive. Clap it up for being alive. That's great. I survived that one. I am trying to date again, though. Marcus, or somebody asked earlier if anybody here was dating or on dates or anything like that. I am trying, I'm single, and single people raise your hand. Let's do that. Let's do that. You guys aren't here together, you could have fooled me.
Better outside.
Oh, better outside. Loving the Bookworm show. That's what it is. But yeah, no, I'm single and I'm trying to date again, but it's kind of weird because I don't really know, like I work at a cat shelter, first off, during the day. I'm just going to start off by saying that, and that just will sum up my dating experience. Oh, thanks, I got to clap for good karma working at a cat shelter. But here's the thing, like, I'm always like, I'm fucked up all the time because I work with 150 cats. Like I feel like I sit down and the first thing he does is look at my hands and I have to just say like, look man, I'm not a cutter. I don't cut myself. I work at a cat shelter. But then usually he's like, oh, you work at a cat shelter. And I'm like, yeah, I do, it's great. And then usually if they're not gone, then they say, how many cats do you have? And then I say, I have 3. And then usually they're gone. They might leave at that point. But I don't know, like, yeah, so dating's always weird for me. But my mom gets super, super excited that I'm dating again, because she's just like, honey, it's so great, I love that you're dating again. And I'm like, yeah, of course I'm dating, Mom. Have you seen the economy? I can't afford my lifestyle. You know, the price of whiskey alone since winter has gone up and has really hit me hard. Okay. So, but yeah, like that's a good reason to date. But I totally feel like I don't know what to do when people want to go Dutch because I want to offer to go Dutch. Does anybody here do that? Like where you go for the Dutch because you're like, yeah, let's be cool and modern, and you just got hit by your wife. But yeah, I feel like I want to offer to go Dutch, but I'm always super afraid that he's going to actually go for it, and then I'm going to be like, shit, I only have $2 in the bank. Because I want to be that girl and be like, yeah, let's go Dutch, and then I start reaching in my bag, and then he's supposed to say, oh no, I got it. But then I guess I'm just dating too many liberal guys, and you start dating assholes that are like, yeah, we can, I'll pay for you. But it's weird. Does anybody here do Groupon?
Not unless forced.
No, forced? Groupon's amazing. What do you mean?
I'm a small business owner.
Oh, well, yeah, but I live in the city, and all the Groupons I know of, those are all, I've never seen a Groupon for like a corporate business. I usually, unless it's like, I mean restaurant-wise, I should say, because we're comparing restaurants. But do you guys know what Groupon is? Because you all looked blank when I said it. You guys know what Groupon is. Okay. So I feel like, when it comes to dating, that like no matter what my dating experience is, nothing comes close to when I scroll down the daily deals of Groupon. That's like the best relationship I ever have all day. But it always follows the course of a relationship, because as I am, like, if you get, I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. I feel like the daily Groupon deals. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about, so I at least don't have to, oh shit, all of you. You guys all were just shy a second ago. Everybody just rose their hand. Okay, so as you're scrolling down the daily deals of Groupon, it's basically the entire course of a relationship. Because you start off, and it's all like the really awesome restaurants, and you're like, oh wow, awesome Italian. Yes, I love Italian. I will go get Italian, Groupon, thank you. And then you're just like, oh, Thai food? Now you're offering Thai? This is great. I'm having such a good time. And then you start scrolling down, and you get to where all like the second date shit starts happening, and that's like a Groupon for like going to the movies, and you're like, awesome, I'm going to the movies, Groupon. What movie did we see? I don't know, we just made out the whole time, Groupon, me and you know me, it's like, you know me, it's great. And then you're scrolling further and further down, and then it's like, whoa, shit's getting serious, there's a Groupon for Cancun. shit's getting serious. Like, you want me to go to Cancun now, Groupon? Is that what you want me to do? Because this is outstanding. And then, like all really good relationships, you guys, you start to scroll down to the bottom. And that's when things start happening, like Cupcake Tour Michigan Avenue, and it's like, you're so happy, but you're getting so fat. You're so fat, like, I don't know what to do. And then you scroll a bit further down, and then the real relationship shit happens, because that's when you start seeing Groupons for, like, laser hair removal and weight loss. And I'm just like, what happened, Groupon? I thought you loved my body. I don't know. I just feel like if I ever scroll all the way down and there's a Groupon for Lamaze class, I'm like, fuck you, Groupon, I'm not having your baby. I'm out. I will not have that. But yeah, so that's my dating experience. I want to talk to you guys about living in Chicago. I feel like you guys don't know the city very well, and it's like the most amazing thing to ever happen to me. Living in the city is like the hustle and the bustle. Like, I hate the suburbs. I go there to visit family, and I get like really antsy and so much anxiety, and I always have to go back because the hustle bustle is good. But living in the city is awesome. I ride my bike everywhere. Does anybody here ride their bike?
Yep.
You ride it like regularly, or what do you do? Every day? Do you ride to work? No? Oh, where do you go, man? You go on bike rides. Okay, bike rides, all right. I'm like, no, I'm like, crossing Lakeshore Drive trying to get to work, and this guy's like, I just go through the forest. It's on a nice night. I go through the forest, and I'm like, there's a semi coming. You're dodging raccoons, and I'm dodging, like, tour buses. It's just like how it works. But you said you bike, right? You bike recreationally, or you bike regularly?
I can't bike to work. But
You can't bike? Oh, okay. See, so I bike everywhere, even if it's like forever away, like an hour away. But I realized I got in a ridiculous amount of bike accidents in the last winter. It was pretty obscene, and I realized that I needed to start wearing a bike helmet. And it's really hard to wear, because I realized that as I'm convincing the same argument I have to convince myself to wear my bike helmet every day is the same argument I have to use a condom. It's just the same. I don't know. But I came up with a little list that I'm going to share with you guys on how I think why this argument occurs. So I'm going to share this with you guys, and you guys are actually going to participate in this. Are you ready? You're going to participate? All right, good. So here's what's going to happen. And it's like, I'm not like a one-liner comic, but I just couldn't resist. So we're going to do it. All right, so what's going to happen is I'm going to say, wearing a bike helmet is like wearing a condom, and you guys are going to say, like, how? How about that? Can we do that? Because it gets exciting when you guys, back me up. All right, so, thank you, Echo. Wearing a bike helmet is like wearing a condom.
Like how?
It takes a really bad scare to know you need to be wearing one. Put that shit on. Okay, put it on. Wearing a bike helmet is like wearing a condom.
Like how?
You feel really lame when you use one, but you hear your mom's voice of concern as you're mounting on the bike. Honey, I hope you're being safe out there. Just that always resonates. And I never know if she's being serious, if she's being literal, or if that's an innuendo. If it's innuendo, I'm proud of her. But otherwise, I just feel like I never know. Is she talking about bike riding? We're talking about sex here. What are we talking about? And then I also never know if she, that same argument for her to try to convince me to trade my bike in for a car is her telling me I need a husband. I don't know. Like, put your bike away, get a car. I'm just like, I don't want a husband. But it's... Are we still... Okay, good, we're still here. Wearing a bike helmet is like wearing a condom.
Like how?
Let me hear it a little bit louder. Or you can just say how. Wearing a bike helmet is like wearing a condom.
How?
Awesome. If the road appears treacherous or questionable, take a different route.
Oh, yeah.
If it looks like herpes, folks, it's probably herpes. All right, that's what I'm saying. And there's no morning after pill for bike accident, is what I'm saying. All right, no morning after pill for that. Wearing a bike helmet is like wearing a condom.
How?
If you're that worried or scared, maybe you just shouldn't be out there. You just shouldn't be out there. Last one, folks. Last one. Wearing a condom. Oh, I knew I was going to do. Wearing a bike helmet is like wearing a condom.
How?
If the ride is really that unpleasant, maybe get another bike or stay the fuck off the road, okay? Stay off the road. There's my one-liners. Another thing about living in the city, I was on the phone with my friend, actually on the way here. Chris witnessed this conversation in the car. I was on the phone with my friend, and he was telling me he had watched this really bad porn. Like, it was really, really cheap, bad porn. And I'm like, oh God, what was the plot? Because the plot's always extremely interesting, or not. And so he's telling me this. I'm like, where did you get, like, what rusty trunk behind a laundromat did you buy this out of? And I don't know if you guys get that out in the suburbs, but we get that when we are in the laundry. If you're ever in a laundromat in the city at night, you can buy one of three things. You can buy movies, because you get the guy coming in, because we have this thing called the tamale guy. Do you guys know who the tamale guy is? How the heck? You guys know who the tamale guy is? The tamale guy comes in all the late night bars selling freshly made tamales to all the drunk people, and they're like making a killing. And so you can get like three things when you go to a laundromat. You can get socks. There's always, I've never been to a laundromat in the city where some guy didn't come in selling socks. I don't know, it's really weird. It's like really bizarre. I don't know. Another thing you can get at a laundromat is AIDS, and then I feel like I don't want to go in that bathroom ever. But you can. Another thing is, you know, the movies, of course, but then porn. You can always buy porn in a laundromat. There's always some guy that I'm just like, man, that is where you got this from, because it's just a really weird thing. But I don't know. So that's going to the laundromat. It's always very exciting. I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is something I was reading in The Reader recently, was that, now I know you guys don't really know the neighborhoods of Chicago, but I live in Logan Square. Right next to me is Avondale, and then it's like Wrigleyville, where all the Cubs fans live. And there was an article in The Reader where it was saying that Avondale is going to be the new Logan Square. Logan Square is where the hipsters live, all the arts, you know, artsy people, and the people in bands, and all the Columbia students go there to hang out. But it's like the, you know, artsy place. And so I'm thinking, okay, if Avondale is going to be the next Logan Square, eventually what's going to happen is all the art kids are just going to keep getting closer and closer to the Cubs fans. And I feel like one day, there's going to be like a collision. And how I see this play out in my mind is it is going to be just like a scene from the movie The Warriors. If you guys know the movie The Warriors, clap it up if you know The Warriors. Because that movie is awesome. And it was a video game. It's very, very good. So, okay, if you know The Warriors, you know every group has their, you know, respective costumes and weapons and all of that. And so what I envision to happen is, if you know, basically, we all know what the hipsters look like. Now, what their weapons are going to be is basically a garden hose. They're going to use a garden hose for that. Drumsticks for all the musicians. And then a 1910 pistol that they know way too much about. Way too much about. Complete with, like, antique bullets that they will talk your ear off about for 5 hours. Those are their weapons. Now, on the other side of this brawl, we have the Cubs fans. We know what their costume is going to be, right? They're going to be in Cubs uniforms. And they're also going to have three respective weapons. They are going to have, obviously, a baseball bat. Very, you know, appropriate. And then the other one is going to be a broken bottle of Miller Lite. Or Bud Light, depends which restaurant we're in. And then for their final, like, this is their Mortal Kombat fatality. It's going to be 2 front row tickets to Dave Matthews Band shoved in your face. And you explode. To me. All right, you guys, I'm Angela Wells. Thank you so much. Come out to the city. It's awesome. Thanks for having me, Bookworm.
I'm like just one of the clumsiest people I know. I'm like clumsy even giving handshakes. I like do like gang handshakes unintentionally, just like trying to aim for like the center of the hand. I'm like, that was funny. Actually, it's like I had a weird. I'm not going to get into that weird conversation I had earlier, but about cats. But it was a beautiful conversation. You know what, Angela? That's beautiful. You work with cats. Because I love cats, but I'm allergic to them. But I think that is the secret to my successful marriage. Because my wife is just like a cat. So she's like, she is the kitten that I can't have. So it makes me happy. It makes me warm inside. I like hearing people talk about their relationships with cats. It's beautiful. But this next gentleman, I'm not even going to do any more time with that. I do want to tell a story, though, before I introduce this next gentleman. It's about this next gentleman. First, I got to say, I've been doing comedy for over 5 years now, coming up to my 6th year. And a lot of comedians, we can be haters sometimes, especially when we see someone who came in after we did, who was just blowing up all over the place. It was like, man, he ain't shit. I could do that. You know, that's just because, he's just sucking the right dicks, that's all. But this guy is funny. I am like so happy to see where he's going. And if there was ever any question to this gentleman's talent, last summer we had a show together at the Comedy Club on State in Madison, which is one of the best comedy clubs in the Midwest. And it was a real hot day. The crowd was grumpy. The crowd was just not laughing that day. Kind of like today. But but worse. It's like there's like over 100 people there. No excuse not to. No reverb. Okay, this crowd was just grumpy, just not having it. And I was hosting that night. And the headliner, he got some laughs. The feature, he got some laughs. When Brian went up there during his 5 minutes, he just had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand, and a good chunk of his set, it was a little 5 minute set, was this bit that he did entirely in Spanish, and the crowd was just eating it up, laughing the whole time. And this was not like a Spanish-speaking crowd. I don't think they had any clue what he was saying, but that is just the kind of charisma this next performer has. Okay, so I'm really excited to bring him back, and I hope you guys are excited. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Next gentleman coming to the stage. You see him at Acme Comedy, see the Comedy Club on State, and he won the competition for funniest comedian in Madison. Please welcome to the stage, Mr. Brian Moore!